Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we need some more? That's good enough? That drama was fantastic, and what it stands for is fantastic for me, because I've been keeping these pictures for 50 years, and I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of pictures, and my wife's always saying, "Why you get that stuff out of the house? It's so crowded." When I moved from A to B, at one time I was alone pushing boxes of slides up the stairs to store them in a storage place, one after another after another. Maybe I was mad keeping all these pictures, but that is such a fulfillment of keeping the pictures for all those years. And I'm very thankful. That is like the perfection of my life, to see that. We've been talking for a few days, and I tried to think of what's the best thing to talk about, or what I would like to express. It's kind of, we're all a family, and sharing nectar and knowledge and Prabhupada's mercy and darshan. So I thought I would share a poem or two that I wrote. Soul eternal, body dies. Let Krishna's beauty fill your eyes. By hearing Srila Prabhupada, all can easily please God. That's a short one. And when I met Prabhupada for the first time, I was through his devotees in Los Angeles in 1969. And I went home for Christmas after meeting the devotees and getting some books of Srila Prabhupada's and chanting beads and chanting Hare Krishna. So at that time, I was home from university. I was going to university. Christmas time, I went home to Central California. So at that time, I wrote a poem. My difficulty with telling people things, I get all mushy, emotional. But anyway, Prabhupada, living love with golden feet. I am waiting, tearful yearning for a chance, your glance to me. I have seen you and your children, seen their chanting, dancing love, seen their eyes in love transcending, known you've come here from above. Chanting now with folded eyes, giving Krishna all you own, pure as gold and soft. Pure as gold and soft as lotus, you are my eternal home. Keep on. I never said that for anybody before in the last 50 years. I kept it to myself. Anyway, it's really wonderful to have the wonderful association of devotees, and I hope I can have it for a long time more in the future, and make some contributions. But one thing is really on my mind is so funny, and that's this one event, and we used to go downtown Melbourne or wherever, but I was in Melbourne, and we would bring a Back to Godhead box and full of magazines and small books and big books. And I plunked that day my box down by the Flinders station in Melbourne. The Flinders train station was stampeding people going to work, coming home from work. So my technique, we have to think of something. You can't just say, would you like a book? So I said, I have an incense, and then I would twirl it. Somebody's walking towards me, and I twirl it like that. And they'd laugh, and the thing would break and spin off my... I'd take another one and twirl it. And this one guy came along. I twirled it, and he said, what's that? I said, incense. Oh, oh, that's interesting. Well, He started to talk to me, and then I said, well, why don't you have a book? So I gave him a book. He said, oh, a book. That's a nice book. Oh, how much do I have to pay? I said, up to you. It's a donation, anything, amount, up to you. And he said, all right. He gave me $20. And I thought, wow, this is unusual for this situation. So I thought, well, that's nice. Well, here's another book, and have another book. And say, another book. How much should I give? Up to you. They gave me another $20. And so I said, that's really nice. And we kept piling each other with, I'm giving him incense, and he keeps giving me books. And I'm giving him books, and he's giving me money. No. Then he ran out of notes. So then he said, oh, thank you very much. I feel fantastic. I got all these nice books. And he had his hands down to his belt, and the top of the books was under his chin. It's stacked up like that. And he went home to his place where his friends were waiting for him to come home with the drugs. They sent him out to buy marijuana and stuff. Like, did you get the stuff? And he's like, no, but I got some really nice books. Krishna has a sense of humor. I got the books. I said, what are you doing, books? Getting on his case. I sent you out to buy the stuff. So then he came to the temple. And then he was coming to the temple every Sunday in Melbourne, weeks and weeks. And then one day I said, well, why don't you just join the temple and move in and become a devotee? He said, yeah, I think I will. And boom, off he went into the temple. His name is Brihaspati Das. There's so many stories like that in history of ISKCON. So, Srila Prabhu is here with all his nectar, and I've been blabbing on a lot, so maybe we'll hand over the microphone, Prabhu. Is he going to speak tonight?
By all means. Just what?
I saw Srila Prabhu, my godbrother, who came to Perth at the same time, and he was Prabhupada's servant. And he's been Prabhupada's servant for 2.5 years when he was. And that's very full-time, full-on service. He has thousands of stories and interesting things full of nectar. They're just getting to see what he was here a minute ago. There was this is kind of on the edge story. Not sure, you better not print that anywhere, but it's very relishable to the devotees. And this involved Radha Gopinath Temple in Sydney. And there was it was a 2-story, you come up the stairs to get to the temple level. And the altar was there, open altar. And the deities were there in brass, Gaurnitai, Radha Gopinath, and Jagannath Subhadra Balaram. So there was a Sunday feast program, the lecture was going on. Tamal Krishna Goswami was giving a lecture. And this Diabo came in, walked up the stairs, went in front of the deities, like most people do, they go sit in front of the deities and pray. And he picked up Lord Nityananda off the altar. He's a brass deity about that high. He picked up Lord Nityananda and he put his arm back and he was going to throw Lord Nityananda. And Jai Dharma Prabhu, who was here when Prabhupada came, just caught his arm. Stood up, caught his arm, took Lord Nityananda back, and we showed the guys a stairwell. Boom, 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 down the stairs. And we got him in a car and drove off, driving around. What are we going to do with this guy? What are we going to do? And he says, it was Hari Sori Prabhu said, we'll take him to the police station. So we couldn't believe that idea. They took him to the police station and brought him in there and said, this guy assaulted us. and they booked him. The police booked him and took him away. It's kind of like funny, but don't publish it. That's one of those stories you'll have to be passed on quietly from year to year. So what happened?
He's preaching to the
Oh, the member. Oh. Okay, well, I had another thing to share. Well, these are, I got some letters because I said before I went to Japan, and then I was there when Prabhupada came there for printing the Dynapan, dealing with the Dynapan printing company to make the first Krishna books that were printed by the help of George Harrison. So Prabhupada came to Japan, and then there was a Janmashtami there, and Bali Mardan was the GBC man for that part of the world. Maybe they call it in Central Asia or Australasia, something, included Japan, and he wanted somebody to come to Singapore. So he asked if I could go to Singapore. So this turned out to be a big benediction, because I got to Singapore, and then we were preaching through Singapore, and Prabhupada noticed us. I mean, he was saying things. So pleased that we were doing that. My dear Hanuman and Amogha, please accept my blessings. I have only just now received. I have my other glasses there somewhere. Anyway, it was in I think it was in the other bag. Was it? So all the conditions. My dear Hanuman, Amogha, Gopal. That's the wrong one. My dear Hanuman and Amogha, please accept my blessings. I have only just now received your letter dated October 19th, 1974, looks like, 72, which was forwarded to me from Calcutta. You are the real representatives of Lord Chaitanya. My hands are wiggling too much. Okay, Prabhu, I prepped Krishna. I said, you can read it. If I can't read it, you read it. Let's get into that point. Just read the paragraph.
My dear Hanuman and Amogha, please accept my blessings. I have only just now received your letter dated October 19th, 1971, which was forwarded to me from Calcutta. You are the real representatives of Lord Chaitanya. Without caring for any stable home, without any thought of personal gain, you are traveling, distributing Krishna consciousness everywhere you go. I am very grateful to you both for assisting me so energetically. And I pray to Krishna that you both live for at least 100 years so that you may spread Krishna consciousness to the full extent. I have read the translation of the pamphlet published for distribution in Jakarta. It is very nicely done, and I have also appreciated the photos showing you distributing prasadam and performing kirtan. Southeast Asia is a very good field for our activities. So you should continue vigorously in the same way you have been. So far, your request for a couple to come and teach school in Jakarta. From here in India, there are no available men, as we have got the very big task of developing Mayapur and Vrindavan.
That's probably that's the main point. I just wanted to say that the devotees always think that you're special if something happens in Krishna consciousness, but actually it's what Prabhupada has opened. This is an open door, which anyone can go back to Krishna by pleasing Prabhupada. Prabhupada is pleased. Our meager endeavors to pass out some magazines. But see how pleased he is. It's not us. He's a magnanimous ocean of mercy who wants to give the whole world pure love for Krishna, and you're helping him, and he appreciates it, and he never forgets. And you have a very big chance of going back to Krishna with Prabhupada if you give your life to helping him spread Krishna consciousness. That's the most wonderful thing there is in the whole world. And any of us can go there and just give your life to Prabhupada. Okay, thank you very much. I hope I can come and see you many, many, many years again and again. At least 100 years.
At least 100 years. Sometimes you might wonder, we're just hearing words, but these words are not ordinary words. These words are blessing from a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, who comes from the spiritual world. He's not from here. So whatever he says is actually a real blessing, where it's changed, it transforms people's heart, transforms people's consciousness, and that's what Prabhupada did to all these young boys and young girls in the old days. So thank you, Amogha Prabhu, for such wonderful pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. We are so happy to have a senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada who come and bless us. Obviously, his words and his blessing is very important to all of us, young, junior, grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So we are very happy to have you here. Thank you very much for coming.